By implementing these tools, it has gotten me in places and in rooms that honestly blows my mind. If you're new to my channel, I would first like to welcome you. My name is Amadioubichon. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give this video a like. I've gotten this question a lot on how I was able to move to LA, get my career going, and make strides and accomplish goals. Honestly, when I think about it, it's kind of crazy. So this is going to be a two-part series, and this first part we're going to focus on mindset, because I truly believe that the most important thing I've done over the past couple years has been to master my mindset. If you cannot master your mindset, then you're not going to get to your full potential. My personal journey that I'm talking about today is going to be centered around moving out of my hometown, coming to LA, and pursuing a career in the professional dance industry. But whatever your career goals are, or just life goals, I'm going to share some tools that have made such a big impact over the past couple years. Focusing on my mindset has really been the thing that has propelled me the furthest on my journey so far. Once I realized that me was gonna be my biggest obstacle, that is when I really realized how much time and energy I had to put into improving my mindset, because you are what you think. That means overcoming any fear, self-doubt, anxiety, believing in myself. It sounds simple, doesn't it? From me wanting to move to Los Angeles, I had to believe that that was even possible for me. I didn't know how it was gonna work out. I didn't know how I was gonna afford it, but I believed that I could do it anyway. Because if there's a will, there's a way. Believe that. So I'm gonna walk you through my experience a little bit, specifically within the past 3 years. The pandemic was definitely tough on my mental health, but I do think I came out of the other side stronger. And by implementing these tools, it has gotten me in places and in rooms that honestly blows my mind. So let's get into it. We're gonna divide this video up into 5 focuses, 6? How many focuses? I didn't number the focuses, but I think it's 5. The first focus to master my mind and believe in myself was self-awareness. You have to start somewhere. I started out with exercises like this to become self-aware and assess the situation that I had going on in my brain. So what I did was, write this down, by the way. Have a pen and a piece of paper. If you're just listening to it, that's fine too. What I did was I decided that I was going to take note of the way that I was thinking for a whole week. I know. I'm going to take note of every self-deprecating thought. Is it deprecating? Depreciating? Of every self-deprecating thought that I had. And in that moment, that's the important part. In that moment, I was going to take that thought and turn it around and rephrase it and say it out loud. I was gonna turn it into a positive and shift my perspective. So for most of us, it's gonna be alarming. The way that we think about ourselves, the way that we talk to ourselves subconsciously in our minds. If you have a lot of self-deprecating behavior, is it deprecating? I don't wanna say deprecating the whole video and it's not deprecating. It is self-deprecating.
Self-deprecating.
Period. Anyway, if you have a lot of self-deprecating behavior, don't be mad at yourself when you start becoming self-aware of it. It is a fact that we live in a place that profits off of our low self-esteem. There is profit in making people think that they aren't enough, that they aren't complete without X, Y, and Z. But do you know how you can become complete or better or healthier or smarter? By buying what they're selling. Marketing 101, capitalism, come on. Like, now, a word that I received recently in the house of the Lord: when you lack nothing, there is nothing that anyone or anything or any job can give you or take away from you that's going to make you complete, that's going to make you whole, that's going to make you better, or that's going to make you incomplete or worse. And if you are truly able to get to a point where you believe that in your spirit, and you believe that you are whole, you are divine, you have one of my favorite affirmations, I have no lack, then that is a great tool that you can use to actively fight the narratives, the mindset, or the lies, rather, that if I don't get to this level in my career, I'm not good enough. Or if I just achieve this, then I can finally prove that. Stop. Stop right there. Here's a reminder. You are whole and you are enough just as you are. Get to a place where you truly believe that you have no lack. Then it's just a matter of time. If you keep putting in the work, if you're consistent, if you're being true to yourself, it is just a matter of time, because those things are undeniable. Hard work is undeniable. Consistency is undeniable. But it starts here. If you're constantly searching for validation, or like, I haven't done this, so I'm not this, like, it's gonna hold you back. But that was the first step, like when I was trying to become more self-aware, was realizing when I was having thoughts like that and like automatically flipping the script. And how I did that was through the second focus, affirmations and mantras. Positive self-talk is scientifically proven to rewire your brain. You are what you think. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back. You are what you think. What's been effective for me while using affirmations and mantras is consistency. I was not the most consistent when I first started using them. Now, as I've continued to incorporate them into my life, there is not a day that goes by where I do not repeat affirmations, talk to myself in the mirror, listen to a positive affirmations YouTube video. At this point, it's a lifestyle because of the impact that it's had on my life. And those are the kind of tools I want to share with you in this video, are ones that I know firsthand have had such a positive impact on my life. I recently started listening to affirmations while I sleep because I am trying to get deep into that subconscious mind. And I'm not gonna get too scientific on y'all, but if you don't master your mind, and specifically your subconscious mind, someone or something else will. If you don't choose your thoughts, the way that you think about yourself, the way that you feel about yourself, and what you believe to be true, someone or something else will choose for you. And that's the hard truth. That's the tea. The tea is hot. And something else was choosing for me for a long time. I didn't like wake up one day and all of a sudden I had all this information and all of a sudden I was a bad bitch affirmation queen. No, it took work, and it took coming to terms with those truths. The thoughts that were taking up space in my head weren't mine. Like, I didn't choose those. Why am I speaking such self-deprecating things about myself? I didn't choose that. Something else that I heard growing up, or that I hear constantly just from the outside world, like, that chose that. And my subconscious grabbed onto it, and now that's the reality that I tell myself. That is not helping me. Yeah, I decided to switch it up. And that's the beautiful thing, is you have the power to switch it up. Don't like get down. Today's a new day. The sun is shining. You have the power. You got the power. Even if the sun's not shining, even if it's cloudy, you have the power to switch it, okay? With that, all of these things tie into each other. So they're all just kind of like choo-choo training into each other. Third focus that I used were different manifestation techniques. I truly believe with my whole heart and soul that I got to where I am just in my life because I prophesized this shit, okay? And if you don't know what it means to prophesize, let me just give you a definition. Definition: to reveal or foretell something, parentheses, especially a future event, by or as if by divine inspiration. Major key here: before you can manifest your life, you need to know what you want. There is power in making a decision, because once you've made a decision, then you can put it out into the universe. And if you constantly feel lost, or like you don't know what to do with your life, step one, work on getting in touch with your intuition. That will start to lead you in the right direction, in the divine direction, on God's path, to get what the universe has already set out for you. And two, I'll save it for the purpose section. Just keep watching, keep watching, keep watching. Anyway, manifestation techniques. I write about what I want. I write down exactly what I see my life looking like. I write down exactly who I want to work for, where I want to travel, how much money I want to make. I make a vision board, like a big physical vision board. It's actually right here. And I made a YouTube video about that. Go watch that. I'm constantly manifesting, constantly journaling, constantly reaffirming myself. And honestly, that has changed my life. It really has. And I know it can feel silly at first. It can feel a little bit like, I don't know if I believe all this. But like I said before, there is power in making a decision. And once you've decided some of your goals, where you see yourself, who you want to work with, where you want to go, once you make decisions like that, you're literally sending out your vibrations into the universe. I don't know how to explain it. It is really, it's like, it's a divine situation. It's real. Like, all I can say is it's real, and we could have a whole nother YouTube video on this, but if you feel silly at first, that's fine. But once it becomes a lifestyle, it's transformative. Also, I'm just gonna throw this in there. Connecting spiritually is one of the most impactful things that has happened to me on my journey. And I talk a little bit about that in my 2022 recap video, so you can go and watch that. Making space for God in my life has been the biggest transformation that I've had so far. And I might make a whole separate video talking about this if y'all want that, because this is coming from someone who was not connected spiritually for a long time and even had a lot of really negative beliefs about what it meant to believe in God. But here we are. Praise God. We could talk about that another time, but we're moving on to the fourth focus, connecting with my purpose. It is in your best interest and the best interest of everyone around you that you live in your purpose. The thing that I want to be striving for more than to sit deep into my purpose. We might have 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of us are meant to be great in many ways. So I want to stress the importance of purpose. And also, if you feel like you might be lost or like you don't really know what your purpose is, we're going to talk a little bit about that too. Purpose is something that has been very vital to my journey, and especially more recently, like in the past year specifically, been something very vital to my journey and to my strategy that I've been trying to build and maintain in order to achieve my goals. Personally, I feel like I'm still on the road to finding and sinking fully into my purpose. But all of this that I'm talking about, y'all, is a lifelong journey, and I'm here for it, and I hope you are too. So I'm going to talk about why this has been so important to me and give you a couple examples. One is constantly reminding myself that my purpose is bigger than me. Each of us were given a gift. Maybe you were given a few. Given a dream. Maybe you were given a few. And it's quite literally your job to share it with others. And I'm about to just link a quick video that I saw that it resonated with me deeply. So I'm going to share that right here.
You really do need to live in your purpose and in your gift, because someone else's destiny is actually tied to you becoming who you are. If you weren't you, there's someone else 2, 3, 5, 10 years down the line who can't become who they need to become, right? I think about like all the women I've looked up to, all the people I've looked up to. And had it not been for this person or that person, like I just would not be who I'm supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And so on days where you feel like you can't do it, or you're tired, or, X, Y, and Z, like rest, but also know that it's not for you. Your gift isn't for you, and like someone else's whole destiny. Like take that. That's deep. Mm-hmm. Someone else's whole destiny is tied to you being who you are.
That was profound. And I think that it's absolutely true, because when I look back on the success that I've had as a dancer, I've recently made it a point to go back and thank each and every person, teacher, mentor who has quite literally taught me everything I know and impacted me in such ways through living in their purpose and through just doing what they love. And it doesn't have to be like huge, like I'm talking in Albuquerque, New Mexico, my dance teachers at my little dance studio, just people who have impacted me through doing what they love. We're all so connected in that way. So I often just have to reflect, journal on that, and just be grateful and remind myself, well, I'm gonna be that for someone else. And a really great tip that I saw recently and I wanted to share is for those of you who feel like you're maybe lost and you maybe aren't necessarily in tune with your purpose or your gift. An influencer who came up on my For You page, I believe her @ is Specs and Blazers, showed me something that I wrote down and that I want to apply. And she was talking about it as it applied to building your brand. I'm going to apply it to purpose because I think it translates well. What I took from what she was saying was to reach out to the people who are close to you, who you love and who love you, and ask them what they love about you. And she said, of course, they're probably going to give you some basic answers at first, but tell them to go deeper, and odds are they're going to give you reasons why they have you in their life and how you make them feel. Do you make people feel heard? Do you create a safe space? Are you like the best hype man ever? Are you brutally honest about X, Y, and Z? Are you really knowledgeable in this area and people come to you for advice? And another question, or a couple other questions you can ask yourself are, what do you get complimented on? And also I got this question from another creator. What is your flow state? AKA, what can you sit and do for hours? Like, what do you just love to do? So I'm gonna take that information that I got from those creators. I'm personally going to journal, sit on it, pray on it, and do those exercises. I'm gonna ask my friends. And if you do too, please share, let me know, because I do think that is a great tool to help connect with your purpose and figure out what it is people love you for. Also, this is just a little reminder. As I'm going through this video, remember that all of this is extremely personal to you. Not everyone is gonna have huge career aspirations, and there's nothing wrong with that. Your purpose might just be to be a voice in your community, being a great friend or a great parent, and all of those things are beautiful. Now, if you do have dreams and big dreams, go for them. I'm gonna say it again. If you have big dreams, go for it. And if you think that you just want a simple life, doing simple things, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I hope that you've already done, or I urge you to do, check in with yourself and make sure that deep down, that's like really how you feel for real. Like, those are your thoughts, and not because someone put you in a simple box and now you feel like, well, I just want to live a simple life. You know, there's really nothing wrong with wanting to live a simple life. Let me tell you right now, after I achieve, you know, the certain goals that I have set out for myself, after I a little chunk of money and I can give back to my community. Yeah, my goal is to live, have a garden, my friends, and that's really the goal. Right now, I want to work hard and do my thing because, like, ultimately, that's the goal, is to tend to my garden and disconnect. So simple is eventually the goal, but right now, baby, we chasing after these dreams, okay? We chasing after it. But actually, they're chasing after me too. Moving on. I think this is 5. Is this 5? I think I did 5. If you've been taking notes, then you might know better than me. My final focus is drive. What drives me? What is my why? Why do I want to achieve X, Y, and Z? Now, personally, I feel like I've always been a pretty driven person, and I think all of us have different levels of drive, and I don't necessarily think you were just like born with a certain level. I think a lot of it comes out of your upbringing and your situation, but whether or not you're naturally driven or not, doesn't matter, because the hard times are gonna come and you're not always gonna feel driven or motivated. But I have been trying to like focus on strategy in my life recently. Like, strategy has been a key word in my life. Figuring out my why and constantly remembering my why is very helpful when I need to get out of a slump and back moving in a forward direction. I'm going to share a little bit about what my driving force and some questions that I asked myself. And if you're taking notes, you can definitely ask yourself these questions as well. First, you have to know what your goal is. We kind of talked about that earlier. Then 2 questions. Why is this important to me? If I don't accomplish this, what will happen? For me, the answer to those questions went something like, because I need to inspire and be an example to others, specifically in my family. Or I need to be successful because I need to retire my mom and no one else is going to do that for me. In 2019, my goal was to move to Los Angeles. That was important to me because it was something that I felt like it was just part of my path intuitively. I felt that and I listened. And I knew there was opportunity to do what I wanted here. And if I didn't accomplish moving out of my hometown, that thought was scary enough for me to hightail it. It was scary enough for me to jump out of the plane without a parachute type beat. Like, I'll figure it out. That's actually a metaphor that my mentor used recently. Just jump. Just jump out of the plane. Even if you don't know how you're gonna figure it out on the way down. That can apply to like anything in your life that you're waiting for the right moment, waiting till you have everything figured out, but like, wait, I still don't have this and I still don't have that. Just jump and see what happens. Maybe you fall and odds are you could probably get back up. Yeah, the thought of me being stuck in Albuquerque, New Mexico, the stakes were high, baby. The stakes have to be high enough. And for me, they were. And I've actually been having this conversation recently with some friends. And I think it's something that can be taken as a positive coming from a less affluent background, aka less privilege. The lighting keeps changing. Anyway, now I was very loved and supported growing up, but when we're talking privilege in terms of education, wealth, and opportunity, I was not in a very privileged position. I was born in a state that is literally ranked like 50th in the United States for education. Some of the worst education in the country. My family was not wealthy. Having an allowance was just something that you would see happening on television shows. And now, for example, you know, I don't have someone in my life who's going to easily be able to swoop in and help me if I slip up, if I get behind on my bills. And if you do have those things, or if you did have those things, God bless, amen, hallelujah, because that is really a blessing. I think in turn, it definitely gave me a lot of fire, a lot of drive, and quite frankly, desperation, a sense of desperation. I've noticed is very important to achieving your goals. And I do think there's a direct correlation between how high the stakes are and how fast you can achieve your goals. And that could be a whole video on its own, but that is just some food for thought, honestly. And if you do come from a more affluent background, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if you feel like that might not dimmed your flame, but like maybe your flame isn't as big because of it, there are ways to ignite that fire inside of you. It's just gonna take some brainstorming, but it's possible. The action that I took to apply this focus, this like drive focus, was of course to journal and have reminders like on my wall, like my vision board. In my journal, I write. Having your affirmations up on the wall, like specifically my vision board. I wake up every morning and I look at it and I'm like, yeah, those are the things that I want. And if I don't go and get those things, that's not going to be good. So that's an active reminder, you know, when I'm feeling down. Also, I have a favorite podcast right now. It's called The Called, and I'm gonna link that down in the description because that podcast, when I'm feeling like I don't feel like it, it's a new podcast. I think there's only like 6 episodes right now, but recently that has been fueling the fire inside of me. Whew! All right, guys, we made it to the end of the video. This is part 1 on how I've been able to level up my career. Now, personally, I think each of these focuses could have had their own whole video, but I basically just wanted to summarize what I focused on and what tools I used to really begin to master my mindset and to get to the place that I am right now. Also, let me stress that I am just getting started. I am in no way a master in these areas, but they are tools that I've used that have impacted my life, so I thought I needed to share them with you. And these might be things that you already knew, but we all need a reminder sometimes. So with that said, if you have any questions, please leave them in the description box below. I would love to talk to you guys. If you gained anything from this video, please share with your friends, share with your family, share on your Instagram story, whatever it may be. And like I said, I am going to give a link to that podcast I've been listening to down below. I'm also going to link the 2 names of the creators that I talked about earlier. And of course, all of my socials will also be linked down in that description box. So with all of that said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.